What's up, budget billers? My name is Trill, and we have some breaking news regarding the budget resolution bill, which is the second part of the infrastructure package, which is what everyone is waiting on. The second part is currently priced at $3.5 trillion, which is the largest stimulus package we have ever seen. And just yesterday, two Democrats released the details of this bill, so I wanted to go ahead and share those with you today. Also, the Senate announced that they are absolutely positive that they will receive the final passage of the physical infrastructure or the bipartisan bill sometime today. Also, in other news, a lot of controversy is going on right now regarding who should get the vaccine shots and who shouldn't, as well as who should be able to mandate it for schools to protect our children. It is getting mad crazy out there for sure, guys, and we are going to talk about it today. But first, if those are just some of the topics that we are going to cover today, but if this is your first time to the channel, hey, welcome and glad to have you. On this channel, we talk about finance, real estate, credit cards, Bitcoin and crypto, and stimulus update news. So if you're interested in any of those, go ahead and hit the subscribe button for me. That way you can join our community. Also, if you end up liking the content in this video or even laughing at one of my jokes, then be sure to like this video. Other than that, guys, hey, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. Okay guys, today in the news, we are expecting the Senate to receive the final passage of the bipartisan bill. This is priced nearly around $1 trillion, which would include money for buildings and utilities, transportation, in-home care for our elderly, and the innovation of jobs, which I have that complete list right here on the screen. This bill has gone through a few shakeups in the past, but the time has come today for the end and the final passage of the bill. Now, lawmakers are pretty confident that they are going to pass this bill with no concerns at this time. The Republicans were originally trying to halt the bill, but ultimately they didn't have enough power to stop it.
We were able to get to a place where we are certain that we will pass the bipartisan infrastructure bill likely tomorrow morning. I think in the end it'll get 20 Republican votes and all 50 Democrats. This is going to make the biggest investment in infrastructure in a generation, and it's going to create at least 650,000 new high-skilled, high-paying jobs as we connect tens of millions of Americans to broadband, as we replace lead pipes and clean up people's drinking water, and as we rebuild dams and airports, bridges and tunnels and roads all over our country.
So yes, guys, there it is. They are confident that they will complete this sometime this morning, and they are expecting to have about 20 Republicans in favor and all 50 Democrats in favor. Chuck Schumer said that it has taken quite a long time and there have been a few detours and everything else, but this will do a whole lot of good for America, and the Senate can be proud it has passed this bipartisan bill. So yes, guys, after this gets done sometime this morning, the Senate can focus on passing the next infrastructure bill, which is the $3.5 trillion budget resolution bill, in which yesterday the details of the bill were finally released to the public. Now, first off, someone in the comments asked me, why are they passing these bills in the Senate first? So let me go ahead and explain that to you guys. Both infrastructure packages are being voted on much differently than the previous stimulus packages and other legislation in the past. The previous stimulus packages were approved of and signed off in the House first and then sent over to the Senate. But regarding the bipartisan infrastructure bill and the budget resolution bill, those are happening in reverse, which means the Senate is having the final passage today on the bipartisan bill, and then it will go over to the House for them to approve of it with Nancy Pelosi. And now that the budget resolution bill will go in the same process, the Senate will start the process sometime this week to pass that bill and then go ahead and send it on over to the House as well. It kind of gets confusing because the second part to the infrastructure bill is referred to so many things, guys. It's known as the human infrastructure bill or the fourth stimulus package or the budget resolution. All of those mean the same, in which this package is going to be passed using the budget reconciliation process, which allows the Democrats to bypass the support of any Republicans. Sorry if you already knew all of that and what that meant, but I just wanted to make sure that I clear that up for some of you out there. But two Democrats released the details of this $3.5 trillion budget resolution bill on Monday, which gives us a glimpse of what we can expect. So yes, guys, right here on the Senate webpage on the screen, we have the Senate Budget Chairman, Bernie Sanders, and Chuck Schumer introducing the historic budget resolution. And if you guys are interested, I have a link down below in the description so that if you want to follow along with me, you can go ahead and do so. So right here, guys, you can see on the screen, we have this came out yesterday on August the 9th, which was me and my wife's anniversary, guys. We're still celebrating. But anyways, Senate Budget Committee Chairman Bernie Sanders on Monday issued the following statement after he joined with Chuck Schumer to introduce the 2022 budget resolution, which includes reconciliation instructions for Congress to craft sweeping legislation to invest in the long neglected needs of the working class. The $3.5 trillion budget resolution that I am introducing today will allow the Senate to move forward on a reconciliation bill that will be the most consequential piece of legislation for working people, the elderly, the children, the sick, and the poor since FDR and the New Deal of the 1930s. It will also put the U.S. in a global leadership position to combat climate change and make our planet healthy and habitable for future generations. Further, this legislation will create millions of good-paying jobs as we address the long-neglected needs of working families and saving the planet. At a time of massive income and wealth inequality, this is a budget that will end the days of billionaires and large profitable corporations not paying a nickel in federal income taxes. Yes, we'll finally ask the very wealthy and largest corporations to pay their fair share of taxes. Under this budget, however, no family making under $400,000 a year will pay a penny more in taxes and will in fact receive one of the largest tax cuts in American history. We will subsequently reduce our childhood poverty rate by expanding the child tax credit so that families continue to receive monthly direct payments of up to $300 per child. We will address the crisis in childcare by making sure that no working family pays more than 7% of their income on this basic needs. Making childcare more accessible and affordable will also strengthen our economy by allowing more Americans to join the workforce. We will provide universal pre-kindergarten to every 3 and 4-year-old children. We will also end the international disgrace of the United States being the only major country on earth not to guarantee paid family and medical leave as a right. We will begin to address the crisis in higher education by making community colleges in America tuition free. We will save taxpayers hundreds of billions of dollars by requiring that Medicare negotiate prescription drug prices with the pharmaceutical industry. And we will use these savings to expand Medicare by covering the dental care, hearing aids, and eyeglasses that seniors desperately need. We will combat homelessness in America and address the reality that nearly 18 million households are paying over 50% of their income for housing by an unprecedented investment in affordable housing. We will ensure that people in aging society can receive the health care that they need in their homes instead of expensive and inadequate nursing homes, and that the workers who provide that care aren't forced to live on starvation wages. We will take the extensive threat of climate change by transforming our energy systems towards renewable energy and energy efficiency through civilian climate corps. We will give hundreds of thousands of young people good-paying jobs and educational benefits as they help us combat climate change. We will bring undocumented people out of the shadows and provide them with a pathway to citizenship, including those who courageously kept our economy running in the middle of a deadly pandemic. We will fight to make it easier, not harder, for workers to join unions in America. And yes, we will pass this budget with 51 votes, not 60 votes, by passing it under the rules of reconciliation. And let's be clear, this is not a new idea. When Republicans control the Senate, they use reconciliation to pass trillions of dollars in tax breaks to the top 1% and large corporations. When Republicans control the Senate, they use reconciliation to make climate change worse by opening up the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge to oil drilling. When Republicans control the Senate, they try to use reconciliation to repeat the Affordable Care Act and throw 32 million Americans off of their health care that they had. Today, the Democrats in control of the Senate, we will use reconciliation to benefit the working class, not the billionaire class. For too many decades, Congress has ignored the needs of the working class, the elderly and the children, the sick and the poor. Now is the time for bold action. Now is the time to restore faith in ordinary Americans that their government can work for them and not just wealthy campaign contributors. I look forward to working with my colleagues to pass this budget resolution and the reconciliation bill that works for working families, not the top 1%. So there it is, guys, but we don't directly see anything mentioned in these documents that reference more stimulus checks. But if we refer back to the second and the third stimulus package bills, they didn't originally mention stimulus checks in those as well. Checks were later negotiated into the bills, and then at the last minute, stimulus checks were being provided to Americans. Now, as I was reading, I did see that the documents mentioned something about debt relief as well as child tax credits and adult tax credits. So maybe the debt relief is referring to more programs to help people struggling through the pandemic. We don't know exactly what this is referring to, but it could actually be another stimulus check. We do see that the child tax credits, which we know those are currently being provided on a monthly basis for the remaining of this year, but the Democrats are proposing to extend the child tax credits through the year of 2025. And then we talked about the adult tax credits on a previous video where the Democrats are wanting to offer adult tax credits of up to $8,000 for married couples and $4,000 for single individuals. They mentioned it before and we see it again mentioned in this budget resolution. So those right there are to be considered when we determine whether this bill will include a fourth stimulus check or additional stimulus aid for debt relief for the American people, as well as the monthly tax credits. So guys, there is a lot of room in this bill. Some things are going to be added, some things are going to be removed before it's all over. But remember, this bill is massive, guys. $3.5 trillion, more than we have ever seen. And this bill is for the people, not for the physical infrastructure, because the physical infrastructure is the bipartisan bill. But this budget resolution is for the people. Just like I read earlier, all of those things I read as well as on the screen right here will help those like you and I. And we could see even more being added later. So yes, guys, the Senate should be voting towards the budget resolution sometime this week. And if not, then perhaps next week. We should see some new progress happening towards this bill, as well as the bipartisan bill going to the House with Pelosi and her gang. Hopefully Pelosi will hurry up and bring the bipartisan bill for a vote instead of just waiting for the budget resolution to show up as well. Although it does seem likely that Pelosi will be trying to wait for both of them at the same time, as she has suggested in the past. But let's go ahead and see what happens today, guys. Now, let's go ahead and have our daily news bites. Schools is starting back again, and a decision whether to mandate masks or not is a big topic of discussion. As the virus cases continue to go up, more children are being hospitalized from this Delta virus, and schools are being pressured by parents to require all students to wear masks, which is fine for schools, you know, but in states like Florida, the governor has forbidden any schools from mandating masks by students. Governor Ron DeSantis came out yesterday and stated that any school that goes against his mandate of no mask could potentially lose their salaries. Basically saying that if the school districts or the school principals require their children to wear masks against his will, that he would make sure that their salaries would be withheld, which means no pay. Now, this is just plain crazy, guys. This type of issue should be left up to the school districts and to each individual school, not for a governor with no children to make the decisions on the protection of our youth. These educators and principals have one job, which is to teach our children and to protect them or make sure that they are safe. But the governor of Florida wants to remove one of their primary tasks of being a teacher. And it seems to me that this is more political than it is about the safety of our children, which is basically playing politics at the cost of our children. These types of people should not be allowed to run our states or our country. Now, Florida is one of the top 5 states in virus cases, as they have a very large amount of children in the hospital right now because of the virus. But wearing a mask is not a priority when it comes to this governor. If any of you watching this video live in Florida, what do you guys think about this? Now, I personally prefer the schools to make their own decisions on whether to mandate masks or not. That way you leave politics out of it. And then for perhaps the parents to make that decision as well. And yes, I am dealing with the same issue right now in Texas with our local schools. All of the parents are complaining right now on all the social media boards, but the schools are in an unwelcoming position of doing anything right now. But anyways, guys, hey, let me know what you think about this situation about mandating masks in our schools. And that's all I have for you today. This has been another 4 Stimulus Check update for today. If you enjoyed any of this information or found it to be useful, be sure to hit the like button for me. It definitely helps out a lot, and it also tells YouTube to share this video with others. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button for me so that you can be a part of this community, and hit the notification bell to be notified of each new video. Again, as always, hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.